Yes! I was trying not to break the microphone there. Yes! Look!
It's here.
Actual Age of Sigmar content, Grant.
I know.
Wow!
And it feels like this book was never coming.
We saw these models in April.
Was it April?
6 months ago. And they're in the General's Handbook, which came out 4 months ago.
Yeah, I think that kind of shows we were supposed to get these a while back. And obviously, with the way the world has gone, they had to bump some stuff around.
Yeah, so of course, a massive, massive thank you to Games Workshop for creating a Battletome in my honour. If you know me in person, right, you know I am literally as big as one of these gargants. Grant's met me and he can justify that.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of you.
Not only has GW come through like absolute weapons that they are and send the Sons of Behemat Battletome, they have sent an actual Mega Gargant. Yes! I'm so excited to build and paint that. Like, that's going to be tough. Currently, as of recording this, I have 5 days to build, paint, film, edit, render, and upload a battle report with him in.
Ah, you've got playtime. You'll do it.
I've got a full-time job.
Yeah, but
I don't have time for this. But
the gargants are more important.
Yes.
Like, that's just how it goes.
But I'll give you my boss's phone number, and you can tell her that.
Yeah, fine.
Anyway.
Don't think she'll listen.
I'm going to chuck a quick picture up on the screen right now in honour of a good friend, Mr. Raymento, who sadly passed away. But when Gargants were announced, he did this little meme of me. So I hope you get a little laugh out of that. Anyway. There's not a lot of war scrolls in this, Grant.
No.
There's 4.
No, there's about as many as we were expecting, yeah.
4.
I did wonder if there'd be a named one, but no, it's just the 4.
But there's still a lot in here.
Yeah.
For what there is,
yeah.
There's still a lot. So, obviously, the Gargant kit can be built one of 3 different ways. You've got Gimpy McGimpy Gimp. You've got Smash him to death. And then you've got Jump up and down.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that's the official names, but yeah, we'll go with that.
I don't know. I'm never going to remember the real names. Anyway, before we actually look at the War Scrolls, and I think the War Scrolls should be a very, very important part and very early in this review, we're just going to point out the actual Sons of Behemat allegiance abilities first. Because when this came through, obviously me and Grant were looking at the War Scrolls. However, then I looked at this and I was like, oh. So
yeah, I mean, we knew something like this had to be in the book.
Well, we said basically, like, you know, the big guys have got to at least have the same rule as a Stonehorn where they count as 10 models. So we kind of expected that. But what we got was so much better.
Yeah.
So a Mancrusher Gargant, which is what the Ale Guzzler Gargant is now called, counts as 10 models.
What's called in this book.
Yes.
Technically, like Gloomspite gets, it's still an Ale Guzzler, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
So just for people who are thinking if they've got a Gloomspite army, they're using Ale Guzzlers, it's not going to be this.
It's the same model, but you can use it in both armies now, essentially.
Yeah.
So
it's 3 armies now.
You what?
It's 3 armies now for that kit, because it's a Chaos one as well.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the little ones count as 10 models. Wow!
Yeah, which is great.
And
I did worry they would get left behind.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't get something like this.
But
the fact they got this is just so good.
But the big guys count as 20 models, Grant.
I know.
20 models? Bearing in mind, I mean, can you take any models in Sigmar in bigger squads than 40? I know you can take 40 chain rasps. Is there anything that goes above 40?
Skaven, maybe. I think maybe clan rats can go up to 60.
Right, okay. So unless you're against a ton of clan rats, you're probably going to control an objective with 1 model.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that you will. which is fantastic. And bearing in mind as well,
even if you don't, you're probably going to kill 10 models.
Oh yeah,
with one.
Bearing in mind
to get you. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just too excited about this. So the little ones count as 10 models, right? But after we've told you about the rest of the Allegiance abilities, right, you can take them in squads of 3.
Yeah. And did they get discount? A points discount?
No. They actually went up in points.
But they're better now, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what your Allegiance ability is. And then you get Chuck Rocks, which is in your shooting phase, you can pick one friendly Mancrusher gargant unit, wholly within 18 of your general, and each model in that unit can make a shooting attack with the Chuck Rocks missile. You can only pick one unit.
Yeah.
So why not use that unit of 3?
Exactly, because then you've got 3d3 shots.
Exactly.
And it's also not a command ability.
No.
So it's not going to cost you anything to do that.
Nope, not a thing. And then the Lord and Master is basically whichever of the 3 gargants your general is depicts which tribe you can follow, which relics you can pick, and they're all vastly different. So we're going to skip those for the minute. We'll jump back over to the points, and then we'll look at the war scrolls, and then go through the tribes. So points, very simple. Oh no, you do get a discount, Grant.
Yeah, because I thought it said that in the GHB, but I wasn't sure if that was maybe...
Yeah, my bad, sorry. So yeah, it's 180 points for a Mancrusher and 480 for 3, so you're actually getting, what's that, a 60-point discount? 80 points?
And I think, if I remember from the GHB, that one unit of 3 counts as your 3 battle line, even though it's one unit.
It still does. How good is that?
Yeah, because you're going to want... Because one unit of 3, you've only got 4 units on the table then, but you can really make advantage of that chucking rocks if you want to go down that route.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you could run 9 of these guys and one big dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Yeah, so the points, the Gatebreaker is 490, the Kraken-eater is 490, and the Warstomper Mega Gargant is 480 points. And they cannot ally with anyone. Surprise, surprise. But...
Yeah, but they can.
They can. Basically, we can't take allies, but these can be allies.
Yeah.
It is the top and bottom of it. So I'm going to skip all of that stuff. So it's just got Mega Gargant at the top in big. I wish it had it like the actual other thing the right way around. So Kraken-eater Mega Gargant. This is my second favourite of the 3 Gargants.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the same order. Although well, there's stuff his I really like as well though. So we'll go through them.
Grant, I've just realised if you take 3 Mancrushers and one of each of the big dudes, it's 1940. You can buy a command point and probably get a Triumph.
I think I would just come in 1940. I don't think you've not got much to use command points on this army. I would just try for the 60 points.
You can still use the generic ones. All out attack.
Yeah, you've got them. But I think I would just come in the full 60 under, guarantee that command point.
Guarantee the Triumph.
That Triumph, sorry. Triumph, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the Kraken-eater. So, when I was talking to Grant prior to recording this, I was like, Grant, how many wounds do you think these guys have got? And he's like, it's got to be at least 20. I was like, nope. Yeah. He was like, 25, but I'm thinking closer to 30. I was like, keep going. And he was like, what? I was like, 35 wounds. Like, that is so much.
Yeah, that is... Once I started running the numbers of various units, trying to take one, like various... Not units, like heroes and stuff like that, trying to take one down. Yeah, that's a serious amount of wounds for something to chew through.
Yeah. And that got us thinking, and that is why you're probably going to see some of the Gargant versus battle reports that we're going to put out. Very, very brief. Basically, what units can we chuck at them and try and kill?
Yeah.
So all of our big toys will be coming out. So that'll be fun.
That's definitely the way to do it.
But 35 wounds with a 4+ save that's good.
It's really good. Yeah, I mean...
And for 480 points, I mean, a Frostlord on Stonehorn has, what, is it 13? 14?
Yeah.
I think 14 or 15, depending on how you build him, with a 3-up save. But, like, 35? Like...
And a Mancrusher's, what, 488 points, I think?
Yeah.
And it's 16 wounds and a 3-up save?
Archeon's 800, and he's got 20. Nagash is 880, and I think he's got 14 or 16. Alariel's 600, and she's got like 14.
Catacross has quite a few as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is... I think the only thing around their wounds is the Dread Saurian.
Yes. How many wounds does the Khorne Dragon have?
Oh, let's check.
Whilst Grant is checking that, I'm not going to go over all the stats, but basically, they're pretty good in combat. Everybody has an equivalent of like an almighty stomp effect type thing, depending on what each gargant speciality is. So this guy's got 2 attacks, 3s, -2, and D3 damage.
The Khorne Dragon's only 30.
Wow.
And it's like 1,200 points or 1,100 points now or something.
Holy wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can reroll hit rolls of a 1 unless you're targeting a monster. So he's got that built in, which is really good. Death Grip is only 1 attack, 3s, 2s, -3, D6. And you can reroll hit rolls of a 1 when you attack a monster.
Yeah, which is, it's nice to have that.
Well, he's a Kraken-eater.
2 different options for either non-monsters or monsters.
He's a Kraken-eater. He needs to throttle some beasts.
Oh,
he's got Crushing Charge, so if you charge, select each enemy unit within an inch, so it affects multiple units. And on a 2+, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. If it's a monster, if it's not a monster, it's D6 mortal wounds on a 2+. On every unit within an inch. And
these bases are pretty big.
Well, I've just actually wondered that. I'm going to get it out and measure it now. Yeah, that's, like, so good.
That's insane, like...
Yep, and then he's got a Shipwrecker War Club, which I love the name of, by the way, and I think it's actually... is it a cannon? Oh, it's called Kraken-eater. Yeah, it's a dwarf cannon. That's Super. So cool. That's so cool, man. So yeah, he gets a lot of attacks with that. He starts with 8, and you know what? He doesn't even degrade Grant until he's lost 12 wounds.
Yeah, like when I noticed there were 35 wounds, I didn't check till afterwards how much wounds they have to take before they start to get bracket.
Do you know what? Even when they take wounds, they don't even drop that much. So his wounds, for example,
they really don't.
Move of 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Fine, right? Acceptable. Number of Shipwrecker War Club's attacks, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5. Fine.
Yeah, you've really got to take about 25 wounds before you really start to degrade.
Absolutely. And then he's got his Hurled Debris, which is the missile weapon. Wow, that is a lot of plastic, man. That's 3.5 sprues, and I think it's 100mm base.
Oh, it's going to be bigger than 100.
No, I'm sure that's definitely 100mm base.
100mm only like a Torlon size.
Oh, it's
106 days Archeon.
It's 130.
Okay, so between the Torlon and between Archeon, it's a round base, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's that. All of these actually have 3 of the following abilities. 4 of them, sorry. So we'll go through these 4 and then we won't repeat them. They've got Long Shanks, which is basically you can move over models with 10 or less wounds. You can move over terrain that's less than 4 inches, but you can't finish a move on top of another model or within 3 inches. Basically, you just walk through stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice way to be able to move these big models around the table without having to give them fly, which would make no sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just kind of a nice mid-ground.
Yeah. You've got Sons of Behemat. If a spell or an ability would slay this model without any wounds or mortal wounds being inflicted by that spell or ability, this model suffers D6 mortal wounds instead. So, I believe Hand of Dust and Reality Splitting Axe and the Slayer of Kings are 3 that I can think of that would do that.
Yeah.
Can you think of any others?
No, Purple Sun, but it's obviously got far too many wounds for Purple Sun to do that. It's the only other instant kill thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome. They've all got Terror. Subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of enemy units if they are within 3 inches of any units with this ability. And they've all got Timber. If this model is slain before removing the model from the battlefield, the players must roll off. The winner must pick a point on the battlefield 5 inches from this model. Each unit within 3 inches of that point suffers D3 mortal wounds unless it is another Mega Gargant model.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I kind of wish they'd done the whole old cardboard cutout of the giant you to place down.
Oh, yes, with the guys with the ropes over it. Oh, yeah. Man, that would be cool.
And you'd try and place it to cover as most models as you could.
Yeah. This guy's got Stuff 'em in me net. If you're familiar with Stuff 'em in the bag, it's pretty much the same thing, but for this guy, after a model piles in, you can pick up to D3 enemy models within 3 inches of this model and roll a dice for each of them. If the roll is at least double that model's wound characteristic, it is slain. Nice.
Yeah, again, you pick up a few infantry, but it's not going to pick up a hero or anything like that. But anything 3 wounds or less, you could technically get 3 brutes in your bag. It's not a bad deal.
Let's just recap what this guy does now. So every unit within an inch after he finishes his charges suffers D6 mortal wounds on a 2+.
Yeah.
He then eats 3 models. If the 1 wound models, you're very likely to eat all 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's chucking 3 rocks at you, which are a potential of D3 damage each. He's got 2 attacks at D3 damage. He's got 1 at D6, and he's got 8 at 2 damage. And yeah, I just want to point out as well, nothing hits or wounds worse than a 3+. And nothing of that
I wouldn't
degrades.
even say he's the fightiest of them all either.
Nah.
Don't get me wrong, he's fighty, but...
His thing, though, get off me land. In fact, you do it in your Scottish accent. Go on.
Get off... I don't have a Scottish accent. You don't even hear my Scottish voice.
Try it.
Get off my land.
In your hero phase, if you have a model with this ability within an inch of an objective that you control, you can pick one of these models and say that it will kick the objective away. If you do so, you can move the objective 2d6 to a new position on the battlefield more than an inch away from any model's terrain features or other objectives. Any objective cannot be kicked away more than once in the same phase. That's crazy. That's just so cool.
There's going to be so much rage come from somebody just hoofing an objective back into their table quarter away from the enemy.
Imagine running 3 of these, though. Run 3 of these guys, charge forward, and then
just boot all the objectives
kick them all back.
Oh, so good.
So yeah, that's that guy. The next one is the Warstomper Mega Gargant. So, these guys' attacks are all very similar. They just change round ever so slightly. So, he's got Death Grip exactly the same. 1 attack, D6 damage. You can reroll hits that target a monster. He's got Crushing Charge. He's got Timber, Terror, Son of Behemat, and Longshanks. So, we don't need to cover them. He's got Jump Up and Down instead of the clubs. Like a child.
Yep.
3s, -2, D3 damage. So it's very much the same as the Almighty Stomp. It's just he jumps up and down instead. And then he has a Titanic Boulder Club.
Yeah, which is a little bit different in its attack process.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Titanic Boulder Club, the attack's characteristic of the Titanic Boulder Club is equal to the number of enemy models within 3 inches of the attacking model. So you remember when Lucy used to use her decimators and just take out squads of 30 My Bloodletters?
Yep, I remember watching that.
Yeah. So this guy charging into, for example, 60 clan rats. That's like 40 attacks.
But have you noticed?
I
But
have,
it doesn't.
I have.
Yeah.
And I was a sad panda when I read the rest of this. I
Yeah.
got all excited, and that's exactly how I felt until I finished the
And
sentence.
then it just takes it back down a notch.
Yeah. You can add 4 to the total for each monster within 3. If the unmodified attack characteristic of the Titanic Boulder Club is less than 1, counted as 1. If it's more than 10, counted as being 10.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just wading in, D6 mortal wounds on the charge, right? And then just clobbering 60 clan rats?
Yeah. I mean, it would be brilliant, but it would be a little bit broken potentially.
Absolutely.
But then he does get, when he's not hurt, he gets like +4 to his attack. So as long as you're hitting, 5-6 guys, you're going to be doing a lot of work.
Yeah, you've got like 10 attacks and,
Yeah.
the 2 damage each. So he is a little bit more hitty in combat. He's got a couple of extra attacks with the jump up and down. He's probably getting more attacks with the Titanic Boulder Club. More reliable, especially if you charge into small hordes. However, he doesn't have the ranged weapon of the hurled debris that the Kraken-eater does. He does
have the hurled body.
He does. Once per combat phase, you can pick one enemy model within 3 inches of this model and roll a dice. Add the hurled body modifier shown on this model's damage table to the roll. If the roll is at least double the enemy model's wounds characteristic, it is slain, and you can roll another dice. On a 4+, you pick an enemy unit within 12 inches of this model and visible to it. That unit suffers a mortal wound equal to the wounds characteristic of the slain model.
Yes.
So you've got +2, so the maximum you can go to is a 4 wound model.
Yeah.
But still, you pick an ogre up, you chuck it at the other ogres, and you kill another one.
Yes, yeah, so you've killed one, then you've just done a straight 4 mortal wounds to another unit. Like that's awesome.
I mean, you've got to roll a 6 to get that.
Yeah, but even against picking up a brute or a stormcast, that's still 2-3 mortal wounds you're chucking about.
Absolutely.
And all that's got to be is even if you've kind of an injured hero nearby.
No, because it's wound characteristic. So if he started with 5...
the unit suffers a wound. So if the enemy's got a hero sitting on 2 wounds nearby, and you pick up a stormcast and crush him, you can launch him at the hero nearby and take it out as well.
Yeah. So cool, man.
Yeah, I think the best thing for this army for me is going to be the stories that are going to come from battles of playing these guys and playing against these guys.
So fun. Do you know what I'm going to do? The Kraken-eater, right? Our good friend, Mr. Ian Spink. If you go and follow him on Twitter, I'll post a link to his profile down below. Every time he goes to an event, and he quite often sees Grant when events were running, and he's got an actual Excel document, a table of all of like the big monsters. Because he's a monster hunter, he's a Savage Auric player, he keeps track of all the monsters that he's killed. So yeah, I'm going to make a table for what monsters that my Kraken-eater is actually going to have eaten.
Yeah, I think you could also do a table for what manages to kill it. True. Because I think that's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got the Gatebreaker. Now, I really like this guy, but I think he's much more situational, and it's a shame.
Yeah, to me, he just makes think of Bragg the Gutsman, but massive from the old Ogre Kingdoms.
So, Hurled Boulder. He does a flat 4 damage with a hurled boulder.
Which is -3 rend as well. Like that's a nice, tasty missile attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Almighty Stomp, he's got 2 attacks with that. Death Grip, 1 attack, so he's got the same as the Kraken-eater, but then he's got the Fort Crusher Flail. And he starts with 10 attacks. It does only hit on 4s, but it's -3, flat 3 damage.
Yeah.
That's just... savage.
It's going to knock lumps out of things.
Oh, absolutely. So he's got the Almighty Stomp ability, he's got the Death Grip, Longshanks, he's got Sons of Behemat, Terror, and Timber. Same as the others. However, he does have... he's also got Crushing Charge, sorry. What he does have is Smashdown. Add 1 to the damage inflicted by each successful attack made by this model that targets a unit that is part of a garrison or wholly within a terrain feature. In addition, at the end of the combat phase, you can pick 1 terrain feature within 3 inches of this model. If the roll is equal to or greater than the smashdown value on the model's damage table, the terrain feature is reduced to rubble. All of the scenery rules are replaced with the deadly scenery rule, and its keywords are changed to scenery and rubble.
Yeah, I mean, on a dense terrain table battlefield, which they should all really be, this guy is going to be a lot of fun.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I think I must have cut out again for a second. I don't know what's going on with Discord.
So yeah, now you know your keywords a lot better than me, Grant. Does this mean he can smash down faction terrain?
So, as far as I can see, yes.
Imagine smashing down your Sylvaneth Wildwood so your Sylvaneth can't get around.
It's the fact that it says all of its scenery rules are replaced by the deadly scenery rule. So my problem with that is I don't know if they would lose their faction-specific benefits.
It would make sense that they can. It's just unfortunate then that most armies' terrain feature stays in their deployment zone, but Sylvaneth wants to be out there.
Gloomspite Gates wants to put theirs forward. Herdstone wants to be a bit more forward as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally it's nothing. But then, even if you're not taking out faction scenery, you've got a nice piece of arcane some wizards bunkered on. Smack. No more.
Yeah. Very, very true.
So yeah.
I
think it's fun.
He's definitely got one of my more favourite rules.
Yeah.
But when you look at the clans a little bit later, you'll see why we're probably not going to use this guy as the general and use his clan.
Yeah, I would agree.
It relies too much on... Nobody plays garrisons.
Well, KO. Now, anything aboard a KO ship is garrisoned.
Right.
So, as far as I can see, you should get the extra damage if you're attacking a unit inside a KO boat.
I'll rephrase that then. Nobody is playing KO.
No, they are.
No.
They really are.
Okay.
There's a lot of KO.
Fair enough. It's a very specific rule.
It is, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, if you're attacking KO inside their boat, you probably don't need the extra damage because they're all little one wound guys.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt.
But still, like, the idea there, like, can you actually use terrain to garrison models now? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's not something that gets done very often. I think it's something that I kind of need to get better at remembering it can do, but I don't really have anything that shoots that would want to be garrisoned.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, maybe if I did, I would remember it more.
True. And then we've got the Mancrusher Gargants. Not a lot changing the stat line. 12 wounds, 8-inch move, 5+ save. The Headbutt, instead of doing D6 damage, now does flat damage that degrades.
Yeah.
Little bit sad about
that. I think it's better.
It's more consistent, because the amount of times that I've done one damage to Lucy and I've cried nearly is just...
Yeah, because you always... Thing is, if you've got a D6 damage, you always hope for the 6 and get a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
Whereas, I think, because a lot of your big giants rules are quite swingy in terms of their damage, it's nice that the little giants are going to be a bit more consistent for your battle line.
Yeah, because their massive club is normally 2d6 attacks. Now, it's just 10, 9, 8, 6, 4 as you degrade. So I like that change a lot.
Yep.
And then, of course, you've got the Mighty Kick, which doesn't appear to have changed.
No, it seems to be the same.
So, yeah. Favourite ability for these guys, though, they've got their own version of Timber at 3 inches. They've still got Stuff Them in a Bag. And they've actually got Stomping Charge now. After this model from this unit makes a charge move, pick one enemy unit within 1 inch. and roll a stomping charge value. For the charging model suffers D3 wounds. Oh, yeah. So basically, while he's full health, he does it on a 2+, and as he wounds, it's less than a 2+ to do it. But yeah, it's basically the baby version of Crushing Charge.
Yeah, so everything in this armor's got impact hits.
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing mortal wounds when you charge with everything, which is great.
But they've got Keep Up.
Yes.
If this unit is within 12 of a friendly Mega Gargant at the start of the charge phase, it can attempt to charge in that charge phase, even if it ran.
Yeah. And that's within, not wholly within.
Yes.
So the fact that which is good, they've kind of realised, I think, with Giants that wholly within is just not going to work with everything being on massive bases.
Yeah.
So within makes things a bit more manageable. So you're going to be getting that a lot of the time you're running charge, which is superb.
And like that's just their ability, and it's like you're not missing out on anything by running at all.
No. So you would always run if you're within range.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think some very nice, tasty rules there.
Yep.
But depending on which tribes you use, depends on what relics and command traits you can get. And you
do we want to work up to? Will we work up to our favorite one?
Yeah, let's work up to our favorite one. Least favorite one for me is probably the Breaker tribes.
Yeah, I would agree.
And rule of cool, it's fantastic. It's just nobody really uses garrisons in games that much.
Yeah, I mean, you still get it if things are on or within terrain. So you will still get the benefit from it. It doesn't have to be garrisoned.
Right.
But I think compared to what you get from the other ones, it's just maybe not quite as strong.
Yeah. Add 1 to the damage inflicted by each successful attack made by a friendly Mancrusher Gargant unit. That targets a unit that is part of a garrison or is wholly on or within a terrain feature. That's pretty cool. And like one thing about this as well, this one really pushes Mancrusher Gargants down your throat. So go and buy 9 of them.
I mean, I think with this one, it's very much written like they are mini Gatebreaker Gargants. So you could really do some nice conversions with them themed around that.
Absolutely.
Breaking through scenery and stuff. You could do some nice stuff.
Absolutely. We've then got, in addition, at the end of the combat phase, you can pick 1 terrain feature within 3 inches of a friendly Mancrusher Gargant unit and roll a dice. Add the number of models in that unit to the roll, and on a 7+, the terrain feature is reduced to rubble.
Yeah.
So basically, your Mancrushers can do that.
Yeah.
And then you've got Fierce Loathing. When you pick a Breaker tribe army, you can choose or roll for 1 ability from the Fierce Loathing's table. The ability applies to friendly Gatebreaker Mega Gargants only and Mancrusher Gargants only. So if you've got the other 2 big guys in your list, it won't affect them.
Yeah.
None of them are absolutely amazing, but they're a nice little buff.
It's all just +1 to hit against various units.
Yeah. This one actually only has 3 relics, whereas the others seem to have 6. So Enchanted Portcullis, roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to the bearer, and on a 6 the wound is negated. That's actually quite good, considering they've got 35
wounds. It is when you're dealing with like 35 wounds.
We've got the Great Wrecker. If an unmodified hit roll for an attack made with the bearer's Fort Crusher flail is a 6, the attack inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. In addition, when you use this bearer's Smashdown ability, you can add 1 to the dice roll to determine if the terrain feature is reduced to rubble. Cool. And then the King Slaughter Cowl. You can reroll wound rolls of a 1 for attacks made by the bearer that target a hero. In addition, you can reroll wound rolls for attacks made by the bearer that target a general.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a really big guy opposite you as the general, I'm not really fussed on that one, because you've got so many attacks anyway.
I'd be taking the Portcullis. I think a 6-up shrug on a thing with at least 35 wounds.
Absolutely. You know what would be even better, Grant?
What would that be?
If you had 40 wounds.
That would make it better, wouldn't it?
Which is the first command trait. All 3 of the first ones give you 40 wounds instead of 35. That's nuts.
That is a lot.
Stonehorns get +1 wound.
Yeah.
Mega Gargants,
plus
5. There's wounds for you, wounds for you, and wounds for you.
And the thing is, I don't even know if you even take that one. There's other great ones, but
I know.
It's still really good. You generally never look. I never take the plus wounds characteristics on any of the armies that have them. But
if you've got the 6 up shrug,
40.
you don't really need the extra wounds. You probably roll a handful of 6s.
Well, I mean, if you go to 40 wounds and take the 6 up shrug, that's what on average you should get. How many 6s?
7
out of 40 wounds. Like, I don't know, but yeah, there you go. So you had 47 wounds.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Yeah.
You can reroll saves of 1 that target him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Add 2 to the attack's characteristic of his flail. Cool. You can choose or roll for 2 abilities from the Fierce Loathings table, which is this one over here, instead of 1. If you randomly generate the second roll, you can roll it again.
But the second ability only applies to the general, so it's not.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I missed that bit. It's the last line. Smasher. When you use this general smashdown ability, you can re-roll the dice to determine if the terrain feature is brought down to rubble. Cool. And Seize Red. While this general is within 9 of a terrain feature that can have a garrison, when you look up the value on the general's damage table, they are treated as if they have suffered 0 wounds. Cool.
Again, not bad. Not bad at all.
Cool. Actually, I've just realised the Stomper tribes only have 3 relics as well.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So, this one's a little bit more complex to follow. So, getting stuck in. Add 1 to the damage inflicted by each... Sorry, I'll start again. Add 1 to the damage inflicted by each successful attack made with a friendly Mancrusher gargant unit that targets a unit with 10 or more models. Add 2 to the damage instead of 1 if you're targeting a unit that has 20 or more models. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is the faction you pick if you want to run lots of Mancrushers.
Yes, because them 3 squads of 3 are putting out a metric ton of damage against hordes.
Yeah, and there's even more reasons to take them as we go through these command abilities.
Yeah. So, if your army is a Stomper tribe, your general must use the following Big Shout command abilities. They cannot use any other command abilities. So you can't even use the generic ones, right?
No, but there's better versions of them in here.
Exactly.
So it's fine.
Exactly. Get a move on you, slackers. You can use this command ability at the start of your movement phase. If you do so until the end of that phase, if you make a run roll for a friendly Mancrusher gargant unit that is that is within 18, it's treated as being a 6. So you get to do it at the start of your movement phase rather than, move then do your roll.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same, but yeah. Grab those.
I mean, that's
rocks.
great because you're guaranteed the 6, but you've also got the run and charge.
Mm-hmm.
It's like unit of 3, guaranteed the 6, run and charge in,
Yeah,
but it's the next one that I like.
Grab those rocks and chuck them at something. You can use this command ability at the start of your shooting phase. If you do so, when you use this, use the Chuck Rocks battle trait, you can pick a friendly Mancrusher gargant unit within 18 of your general to make Chuck Rocks shooting attacks instead of only 1 unit.
So if you have 3 units of 3,
yeah,
if you've like 3 units of 3, say around your general, that's a lot of shooting coming out.
Yep, absolutely. Or yes, charge. Use this command ability at the start of your charge phase. If you do so until the end of that phase, you can re-roll charge rolls for friendly Mancrusher gargant units that are within 18 of your general. You just get that for everybody that's within range. Oh, and by the way, did we mention that you can run and charge? And you can automatically run 6 inches.
Yeah.
This
is probably the only one that needs command points.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, how many points would... So, it's 480 times 3. And how much was the... This is the Stomper guy, isn't it? I can't remember his name. Warstomper. He's 480.
Yeah.
That's 1920 points. So you could buy a command point and you're probably still getting a triumph.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Yeah. Watch your backs, you gormless lot. These names are epic, man. You can use this command ability at the start of the combat phase. If you do so until the end of the phase, you can reroll save rolls of a 1 for attacks of target-friendly Mancrusher gargant units that are within 18. Oh my word. Wow.
Yeah.
That's... Yes.
I mean, yes, you've only got 5-up save, but if you're fighting something without rend, 5-up rerolling 1s for CP, it's not terrible.
No, I mean, if you've got any left after you've ran and everyone's charged and re-rolled.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think you're going? Use this command ability at the start of your Battle Shock phase. If you do so until the end of that phase, do not take Battle Shock tests for Mancrusher gargants that are within 18 of your general. What bravery are they? 7. So you've got to lose 2.
For the other one to run, so it's not essential, but
nah.
It covers all your bases for the 3 from the... You've got Inspiring Presence ability, you've got your reroll you've got your 6-inch charge, and you've got your reroll your charges.
Yeah.
See, they've kind of covered all the bases that you get in the core ones.
Yeah, absolutely. The command traits, the first 3 are pretty much the same. 40 wounds, reroll saves, and +1 attack on whatever weapon they've got. Number 4, though, Inescapable Grip. When you use this General's Hurled body ability, you can reroll the dice that determines if the target is slain and thrown. That's pretty good.
Yep.
So, he's got... what was it? Is this the one where you have to roll double, or is this one +2?
So you well, it's determined the target's thrown, which is a 4-up, is it not?
Slain and thrown.
Oh, so you get to reroll both, yes.
Exactly. So,
Ooh.
yeah, you get to reroll the dice to see if you actually kill the model that you're grabbing, and then you get to reroll the 4+ to see if you actually throw it.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty good.
That's pretty decent, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very shouty. If this general is on the battlefield at the start of the first battle round, you receive D3 extra command points. Cool.
I mean, this is the one that's going to be needing command points, so that's...
Oh, yeah.
There's potential there.
And then, eager for the fight, you can attempt to charge with this general if it is within 18 of the enemy instead of 12. Roll 3d6 when making the charge roll. Cool.
Yeah, see, I think that's really good as well. 3d6 charges are so good.
Yeah. And then for the artifacts, we've got you can re-roll save rolls for attacks that target the bearer. So
Oof.
That's just re-roll save rolls.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
And it doesn't say failed saves either.
No.
So that's after modifiers. In addition, if the re-rolled save roll is an unmodified 6 and the attack was made with a melee weapon, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice one.
Yep.
That's really good to keep. Especially if you're only running the one Warstomper and lots of little ones, I think that's really going to keep your general alive.
Absolutely. Club of the First Oak. In your hero phase, you can heal 1 wound allocated to the bearer. In addition, if the bearer is slain, roll a dice before the bearer's model is removed. And on a 4+, the wound or mortal wound is negated, and the bearer is not slain. And any wounds that remain to be allocated to the bearer are negated. So basically, oh no, I'm dead. 4+, I'm still alive.
I think I'd probably take the reroll saves though.
Yeah, just keep them alive longer.
Yeah.
And then we've got Mantle of the Destroyer. Friendly gargants have a bravery characteristic of 10 whilst they're within 12 of the bearer. In addition, you can reroll charge rolls for friendly gargants that are within 12. So you can save command points by using them, but again, as Grant says, I'd rather just reroll saves.
Yeah, it's just so good.
And now, my favourite.
Yeah, and I'm with you on this one.
The Taker Tribes. When using the Mightier Makes Rightier rule to determine the control of an objective, Each friendly Mancrusher gargant counts as 15 models instead of 10, and each friendly Mega Gargant counts as 30 models.
It's
30.
ridiculous.
But like that squad of 3 on the objective counts as 45 grand.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Like, I really think that's just amazing.
The best thing about this is, of course, bearing in mind it says any Mega Gargant, this one isn't limited to the Kraken-eater. But then if you combine the fact that your Kraken-eater is kicking objectives back into your territory anyway, like I genuinely think, right, 2 of these and 1 of the Warstomper and 3 gargants. Right.
Initially,
probably.
I was leaning towards 1 of each, but I think if you're going this tribe, maybe 2 of them, like you say, and just hoof objectives around.
And it's such a shame, right, because the models are amazing, right? And I want 1 of each because they are what they are.
Yeah.
But I think to play, I would like to play this way.
Double Kraken-eater.
Yeah. Absolutely. But that's not even everything that they get. More stuff for me collection. Each time an enemy model with an artifact of power is slain, you can roll for a triumph on the triumph table. You can use that triumph during the current battle, even if you have already used it.
Yeah.
So, was the Kraken-eater 480?
Yeah.
So 480 plus 480 plus 490 for the Stomper plus 480 through the gargants. That's 1930, so you're probably going to get a triumph anyway.
Yeah.
And then, oh, look, I just killed somebody with a relic. And most people have probably got 2 artifacts of power in the list.
Most, yeah. I would say 2 is by far the most common.
So you're going to get another 2 triumphs. And, like, it's not even like triumphs are just, reroll hits of a 1. It's reroll all hits.
Yeah.
On a Mega Gargant.
To generate triumphs during the game is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when you think a lot of things with artifacts are going to be the big fighty heroes that are going to be coming for your giants. You're going to end up fighting them anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's not even limited to who has to get the kill. It's just kill it.
Yeah. And then you get a triumph fuse at some point. Great.
Yep. Command traits. First 3 are pretty much the same again. So 40 wounds, reroll saves of a 1, and add 1 to the attacks for the specific club that they have. Number 4, when you use this general's Get Off Me Land ability to kick an objective away, you can roll 3d6.
Yeah. That's just fun.
Yes. Very, I can't even say, acquisitive. You can take 1 extra trophies taken by force, artifact of power from this general's army. In addition, the general can have up to 2 artifacts of power instead of 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty nice. And this is the one that's got the 6 artifacts, so you've got a bit more options.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to take 2, and you, mate, you can have 1 as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I'm taking 2, and I'm having both of them.
No, that's in addition. You can take 1 extra trophy taken by force.
But all that means is you're still only gonna have 2 in your army, but you can put 2 onto 1 guy. That's how I would read it. Oh,
right, okay, yes.
You can take 1 extra into your army, but you can give your general 2 instead of 1.
Right, yes, so I get you.
Yeah.
And then we've got subtract 1 from hit rolls for enemy models that are within 3 of the general. That's okay. But the relics...
Again, keeps you alive longer.
The relics.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many cool ones here as well. So, Jaws of Mogalodon. Once per phase... Once per phase, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll for an attack made by the bearer, or 1 save roll for an attack that targets the bearer. You cannot use this ability to reroll more than 1 dice for the bearer in the same phase.
Yeah.
Phase. Every single phase you can reroll a hit, a wound, or a save.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Do you not think? Good. I do. I like that. I mean, you can obviously you could reroll 1 hit or 1 wound, so it's quite fine. You can.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you get hit with everything, you can still use your wound reroll, and it's the fact that it's not like a once per battle activation. It's constantly are getting those rerolls.
But do you know what's good about that? You combine that with your Triumph and possibly your second Triumph to reroll hits, reroll wounds, reroll saves.
Yeah.
Oh, right, cool. I'm going to use my Triumph to reroll all my hits, and I'll save me reroll for that wound.
Exactly. So you're going to be getting those hits through.
Yeah. Wallop and Tentacle. This one's a bit naff. At the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy hero within 3 inches of the bearer. On a 4+, the hero suffers 1 mortal wound, and you can reroll hit rolls of a 1 for attacks that target the hero until the end of that phase.
It's alright.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be too excited about it.
I like the next one, Jar of Bernie Grog. Once per battle at the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of the bearer and roll a dice. On a 2+, that bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds, and until the end of that phase, you can reroll wound rolls for attacks made by friendly gargants that target that unit. On a 1, the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. So it's just, you can have all the reroll wounds.
Yeah, which is, again, so nice. That's good on a unit you're going to send in like 3 Mancrushers into.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Getting the most out of your rerolls.
Again, if you combine that with your Triumphs to reroll hit, reroll wound, and reroll save, you know what I mean? You're going to hurt something.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this is why I think this one's is my favourite. Because there's so much options.
We've then got the Net of the Beast Reaver. At the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy monster within 3 of the bearer and roll a dice. On a 4+ until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls that target for attacks made by that monster, and you can add 1 to hit rolls for the attacks that target the monster. It's alright, depends on what monster it is.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on... If you knew you were facing someone with a lot of monsters, it's probably one to take.
Yeah.
If you want to do a monster hunting themed army, for example. Because a lot of armies have monsters now, especially with monsters becoming extra scoring in battle plans.
Yeah.
So, not a bad one.
Then we've got Glowy Lantern. The bearer can attempt to cast a spell and unbind a spell. Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield only. It's okay. I wouldn't use it.
I like the next one, though.
Kraken Skin Sandals. The bearer's Almighty Stomp has an attack characteristic of 3 instead of 2, a rend characteristic of 3 instead of 2, and a damage characteristic of 3 instead of D3.
Yeah, I like that.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
I think that's your first pick. If you're taking 2, then yeah, you can play about with something else. But I think Kraken Skin Sandals is a lot of fun. I think that and the Jaws of the Megalodon are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just so cool, man.
Yeah.
But one thing that we haven't covered is the rules for mercenaries. Now, I'm not too familiar. Oh, by the way, in this book as well, there is name generator for all 3 tribes, and there's also
superb.
And there's quirks. There's actually 18 different quirks for each tribe as well. So I'm gonna go for me take a tribe background tables. So Grant, pick a number between 1 to 3.
2.
1 to 6.
I'll roll a dice. I've got one here. That's a 4.
Okay, and then 1, 2, 3.
3. Oh no, 1. This has got a dice. This has got a number on the 1. It's annoying. Yeah, so 1.
And then 1 to 6.
Give us another number. Oh, I've lost my dice. 5. A 5.
So my Kraken-eater is called Long Dog Cannon Chucker. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
There's loads of really cool stuff. You can have a fishy stench. This gargant feeds almost exclusively on the bounty of the sea and is a very messy eater. His skin is covered in a disgustingly pungent sheen of sweat and fish oil.
That sounds unpleasant.
It's cool. They've gone through 6 pages to do that for all 3 tribes.
Yeah, that shows some some decent care they're putting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm going to let you lead this one because I kind of suck with mercenaries because I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's not something that's used that often, but basically, you can take a Mega Gargant in any army. You're limited depending on which your alliance is, which one you can have. But they don't count towards the number of leader or behemoth units that can be included, which is nice. But you don't get your first CP in the first battle round.
Yeah.
So, if you are Order or Destruction, you can take a Kraken-eater Mega Gargant.
Yes.
And all these ones get an extra ability. So his one is, at the start of the combat phase, you can say the model will be uncannily cunning. They fight last, but you re-roll all hit rolls.
Yeah, depending on what you charge. If you know you can take a hit,
yeah,
then you know he can fight last and you can fight with something else first.
Exactly, and you're going to get those re-rolls and you're going to do, a fair amount of work to it.
Yep.
So then we've got the Warstomper, which is for chaos and destruction. His special ability is reroll hit rolls of 1 for his jump up and down attack, and subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units within 6 of this model if he's already done his jump up and down.
That's quite cool. That reminds us of Groundbreaker and Stomps.
Yeah. So you can jump around and reroll your ones, and also, -1 to hit back, keep you alive a little bit longer.
Jump up, and get down.
If you want to play that while you do it, I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, and then we've got
the Gatebreaker for destruction and death. So his ability, Grievous Halitosis. At the end of the combat phase, pick 1 enemy unit within 3, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models from that unit that are within 3, each 6 is a mortal wound.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Considering these are mercenaries and you can just take them, it's class. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to get these out there. I think it's a fun little thing. It's nice to give some armies maybe don't have much big hitty stuff, something big and hitty to throw around.
Oh, absolutely. The only issue I've got now is I want to do a battle report with 3 of them. Now.
Yes. Yes, well.
and as of filming this, I've got to wait 12 more days before I can even get my hands on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, realistically, right, I think, 1,000-point game, we might get 2, and Lucy can use 2 different armies. But, hands up if you fancy let's chuck the big stuff at the gargant and see what we can kill.
Yeah, I think that could be a fun little series. I'd be definitely interested in watching that. How many stone horns does it take to kill a gargant?
Probably
just
2.
Whenever one dies, another one comes in.
Out of curiosity, right, you did some maths earlier, and I chucked some units at you and went, try that.
Yeah.
And you said a unit of 6 Khorne Varangard, 6th Circle, which are within range of Archaon, and subject to will of the Everchosen, can do it.
Yes.
That's 560 points, and you need the 880-point monster.
And that was only, I think they maybe only overdid it by about 2 wounds. So, there's definitely not a guarantee you're going to do that.
Frostlord on Stonehorn bounced off him, you said?
Yeah, it didn't do anywhere near as much as I thought it would. This was using Mr. J.P. Gannis's Age of Sigmar You Later.
Right.
But yeah, it's So this is like a online. I'll give Harry the link and he can put it in the description. It's basically it's a math hammer program. So you can put in like your weapons and pick your targets and shows you what armor. Like it's like the 70% likely to do damage. So obviously it's what you should be doing more times than not.
Yeah.
Like I did a fully buffed up Mancrusher, including the extra damage and popping the destroyed artifact for even more damage. And the gargant was still alive. It was hurting, but it was still alive.
Yeah.
So these things are going to be interesting to try and take down.
It's just so cool.
I think what's going to have the most success is mixed forces, where you can do some damage at range and then throw something in.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just absolutely like this is going to breathe some life into our games of Sigmar. Like I'm just.
Do you own? What you need to do for your video series is go trek.
Oh, he's not built and painted.
Well.
Oh, come on! I've got a gargant to paint.
Go trek's only little.
Maybe. I need to find him. He's still packed away somewhere.
Because he would be interesting.
I might make Lucy finish Catacross as well.
Yeah.
Just to see if he does anything.
I definitely think Gotrek versus a Giant is interesting.
Well, didn't GW release a picture of that as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Gotrek. Of course he's going to try and fight a Giant.
Right, well, that is it, folks. Thank you very much indeed for watching the review. Go and check out. I'm probably going to have done like 3 or 4 videos with a gargant in them because it's super exciting.
It's Gargant Day.
Yeah. And please meme the hell out of everything. Send. I'll put. In fact, you know what? I'll put that picture up on the Facebook page again. If anyone wants to Photoshop my face onto any of the other gargants or anything, please, I actually encourage it. If someone can do my face on all 3 different ones and do that as like one picture as an army, that would be class.
What we need to do is print out your face on a like gargant size and put it on like they're wearing a Halloween mask of your face.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna print a picture of my face off at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much for watching, folks. Thank you, Grant, once again for being the Age of Sigmar guru.
Oh no, this was a book I've been looking forward to, so it was a great fun.
Do you know? Yeah, I think a lot of people have been looking forward to it, and do you know what?
I don't think it's one I'm going to play. Like I've said this a number of times, but it's one I can't wait to play against.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to hear the stories of people playing against this army.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
what this army does, and taking objectives around, and yeah, it's going to be good.
Right. Well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.